Verses 3-4, the Spirit's coming empowered the people with tongues of fire, which might symbolize speech. Here, the power of speech was given to all of them present, who started to speak in other languages, glorifying God. I want you to note that they spoke in other tongues or other languages. Greek says heterais glossais, and that means other, heterais, hetero, other, glossais, having to do with tongues. Other tongues is what they spoke in. And they were not speaking in unintelligible tongues. They weren't speaking gibberish that nobody understood. They were speaking in tongues so that each person from all those places that were mentioned, and I could go through the list again, but you don't want to hear that list again of all those countries. All the people from those countries who spoke other languages were hearing the good news of God in their native tongue, and they were amazed because the people who were speaking those other languages didn't know their language, and yet they were speaking it. It would be as if I started speaking Russian here because I don't know Russian. It would be certainly a gift, wouldn't it, if I did that and you were able to hear the language that was just your language that I didn't speak. That would be a miracle. And the people who came there as spectators from all over the world for this festival, because they came for the festival, Pentecost, they came to celebrate. All these Jews came and they heard the good news of Jesus in their own language. So practical, so practical. The Holy Spirit does things in our life which make sense to the Lord for his plan, and it happened here. It was a miraculous power that was happening there, and it illustrated God's desire to reach those who were there. Now, verses 9-11, the list of nationalities talks about all those Jews who were all over the world. And it's not necessarily to people who were not Jews that these tongues were spoken. These were spoken to other Jews because this whole idea of speaking to Gentiles really hadn't come yet. That's going to come in chapter 10, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, with Cornelius and Peter getting the vision of the unclean foods. And then God said, go ahead and eat. Don't call anything unclean, which I call clean.